lights. Cameras. Action. Good. Awesome. It's working. I love it when that thing works. Okay. Finding the slope between 2 points. Basically, what we've been doing, or what we're about to do, is I taught you that way of graphing in standard form using x and y intercepts, right? I've already taught you how to graph in point slope form with the shortcut method. I've taught you how to graph with the t-chart. Now we're gonna sort of be working with not only the graphing but also understanding how these types of equations, the slope-intercept equation, the standard form equation, and one other one which I will be teaching shortly, not today, called the point slope formula. It's an awesome formula, and we'll get to that eventually. It scares people because it looks scary, but it's really, really useful, and it will save you tons of time in solving certain problems. So, but we're going to be dealing with these kind of things, these different equations. And what if I gave you information? I said, write an equation with that information. So I'm going to be teaching you now tools to find that kind of information from, in this case, finding a slope when you've just been given 2 points, okay? So that's what we're going to work on, okay? So make sure you write down the topic, the title, okay? And all right, so let's say I had 2 points. Let's say I had 2, 4 and 6, 7. And I wanted to know what is the slope between those 2 points. Okay? So do you guys have an idea of how you might do it? Anybody have an idea? Yes?
Well, if you have, you could, I think this is more of a long way, but if you have 2 points, first you have to graph them.
Oh, that's an interesting idea. Let's try it.
And then,
Let's just try it. Let's just try graphing it. So here's my y, and here's my x, and I've got, let's see, 6 and 7, so 6, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so 2, 4, over 2, up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, over 2, about there, right? All right, and the next one is 6, 7, so there's 6, and 7 is up here. So
yeah, then you just draw a line, right?
And then, yeah, let's say you drew a line, right? You don't even need to draw the line technically, because what the line doesn't really help you find the slope. You can if you want. We're looking for that slope. But how would you? Well, let's just try it. Draw it.
And then you can say kind of like whatever.
And how could you find the slope between these 2 points? What does slope stand for again?
Rise over.
Rise over run. So let's just remember that slope, m, right? You all know m is slope, right? M is equal to rise over run. Well, could I figure out how many I have to rise and how many I have to run to the next point?
Yeah.
Okay, how many would I have to rise? 1, 2, 3.
Oh, could you just
Look at that.
wait? Could you,
I just had to rise 3. 1, 2, 3. And how far would I have to run? I'm here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I rose 3 and I ran 4. You guys agree with me?
do you just
So what's my slope?
Do you just subtract
Slope
the
is
4
3,
from the
4.
Yes. So my slope is, my rise was 3. So in this case, it was 3 on the top. And my run was 4.
So then
Right? So yes, you got the right idea.
If you subtract 7 from 4, you get the 3. And if you subtract the 6 from the 2, you get the 4.
Yes.
So do you have to do that?
Yes, that's it. Exactly.
Oh my
So-
God!
But what we're so this is, you can always find your slope by graphing. It's always easy, right? Sometimes you might, like sometimes the slope might be 2/4 and you really could just do 1/2, right? So you only have to go up 1 and over 2, right? Even though originally, well, whatever. Even though, like, if you figured it out on, well, whatever. I don't know how to explain what I'm saying. But you can always go all the way up to the height of the other point and all the way over and just count how far you went up and how far you went over, right? So focus on this, not that, okay? And then, but graphing is not always the easiest way. There's actually an easier way. So graphing is one way, but now we're going to talk about doing it algebraically. And so there has to be a formula, right? And so you've got the right idea. You're totally doing it. But let's talk about the formula. This is called the slope formula. So please write this down. The slope formula. And the formula, since it's slope that we're trying to find, it's going to start with m. M equals, right? So it's going to be m equals, and I'm going to first give you the formula the way you'll see it in most textbooks, okay? And then I'm going to show you a simplified way to think about it and remember it that I always use. I don't use this method much. I mean, I use this method. I just find it like unnecessarily confusing. You know what I mean? But this is what it is. It's rise would be what? Y or X?
Oh.
Which would be rise? Would that be considered the Y?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so it's going to be y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2. That's going to be the run, right? X is your run. X sub 2 minus x sub 1. So it looks scary. What? You have? That's awesome. Well, yeah, in geometry. You would have seen this in geometry.
The sub numbers are actually. Don't they mean X? Doesn't the sub numbers mean that's like real numbers?
All right, so great. So you guys that's awesome. You guys are already seeing, well, wait, you got to have 2 different X's. And you have to have 2 different Y's. Oh, they gave it to us. Oh my God, that's amazing. So, you know, now when I do this, personally, I like to make the bigger numbers the twos, and the smaller numbers the ones, if I can.
First off,
Because then I'm only dealing with, then I don't have double negatives and weird things like that. But it doesn't matter. It works either way. But so I'm going to make this one 2. So I'll make this one 1. X sub 1, comma, y sub 1. Do you see that? So that's my 2 is my x1 and 4 is my y1. And this is my x2 and this is my y2. You with me? Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
No.
Right? Yes? No? Which part?
All of it.
Okay, so this is the formula, and the formula says that there are 2 different y's, and it says there's 2 different x's.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, well, where am I going to find 2 different x's and 2 different y's?
Oh, so it's basically X
But-
number 1, X number 2?
Yeah, so but they gave me 2 points, and each point is an xy.
Okay.
So I'm just making one of them an x1, and the other one the x2, and then this one is. Now, if I
Does
make
it matter
this.
which one you make?
Well, it doesn't really matter which one you make x1 and y1 and which one you make x2 and y2. I prefer personally using the one that's bigger. And I usually figure out that I just randomly say whichever one has the bigger y is the one I use. But you don't have to do that. That makes no difference whatsoever. You'll get it right regardless, as long as you do your algebra right. Okay? But it is important, though, that if you make this an x1, you cannot make this a y2. Is that clear? If this is x1, this has to be y1. And if this is x2, this has to be y2. You can't switch those around, okay?
Wait, why don't you do bigger X? Because bigger X would make more sense since you told us to put the negative always on the top and y is always on the top. Question mark?
That's a good question. You could do it that way.
How? What?
That
No,
makes more
what?
sense.
But you're going to see, I'm going to show you a different way in just a second that I randomly do. But I usually do. But so let's follow this. So what is my y2? My y2 is 7, right? So I'm going to put a 7 up here.
Oh,
And then the formula says minus, right? So make sure you're writing this down. Put a minus. And then y1, my y1 is 4. Okay? And then I draw a line underneath it. And that says I have to have my x2. My x2 is 6. So I'm going to write my 6 here. And then the formula has a minus sign. And then it says x1 is 2. All right. And so I know I did that right. So now I'm going to put an equal sign. What is 7 minus 4?
3,
3. So I write a 3. What is 6 minus 2?
2, 4.
4.
It's 4. Oh my god.
Oh my God, look, we got the same thing that we had gotten when we had graphed.
Well, hold on. It's 4.
Right, that's what I wrote. That is a 4.
Oh my god, it's a 4.
It's a 4. Oh my God.
2 plus 2 equals.
So then when you write the
So,
slope,
so basically, the slope is equal to 3/4.
Oh my
Okay.
God, Gary, you're a wizard.
So this is a really awesome
You're a
thing.
wizard, Gary.
Now, let's do it one more this way, and then I will show you my method, which is a little different. Actually, it's really the same thing. It's just easier for me to remember. It's more fun to. It's more in like code, like if people like
That
secret
spells wrong.
codes. I think that's my phone.
Gary, your phone's, your ringtone.
All right, so let's erase this part. We'll keep our formula there. And let's try a new one. But this time we don't need to use the graph. We're just going to use the algebra. So let's say we had -4, 6, and let's say we had 2, -8. So the negatives immediately tell you what? Well, but they do that. They also tell you to wake up.
What?
Thank you. The negatives tell you to wake up. Whenever you see negatives, you need to, just sort of, like, okay, Gary, time to wake up, right? Because the formula also has negatives in it, right? So you have to honor not only the formula, but the negative in the point,
Oh, because.
right? Does that make sense?
Two negative signs.
Right.
wait, no,
exactly.
it would matter which one you put as the x1 and x2, wouldn't it? Because it would totally change the number.
Oh, that's a great question. Well, let's try it. We'll try it both ways. But let's make this one x1 and y1, and we'll make this one x2 and y2, and then we'll redo this, and we'll make this x2 and y2, and this one x1 and y1. We'll just see if it works. That's the best way to always tell. Just try it, right? So my y2 in this case is -8. So I write -8, and then my formula says minus. So I write my minus, and then y1 is 6. So okay, that's that. Over x2 is 2, and the formula says minus, and the y2 is -8. I've got
No,
minus
it's
and
wait,
-8.
Plus.
So
Wait, what? No. What? Why did you
Negative-
put
negative
negative
four.
8 somewhere? It's
Well,
negative
negative
4.
Something is
What?
8
It's
minus
negative
6,
4.
negative
My-
8 minus 6, so it's
oh yeah, what am I
negative-
doing?
It's
-4. I screwed up. Sorry. Thank
Okay.
you, Amaya.
Wait,
You were
it's
right.
double negative, so isn't it a positive?
What's
Yes. So when you have the negative, it means positive, right?
Oh.
A double negative means positive. When you have, that says, because negative technically means the opposite of. So that first one says the opposite of negative, which is positive.
So it actually.
So that is going to be a great big plus sign. So now what do I have up top? -14, right? Yes? Is that right? -14? At the
Yeah.
top, over, what do I have down at the bottom? 6. Now, can I simplify this?
Yes.
Yeah, 2
Divide
goes
both
into
by
both of these.
2.
I could divide by 2, divide by 2. We're still in the front.
7/3.
Negative
So that gives
7.
me
So technically it'll be 2 1/3.
-7
7
over
thirds,
3.
right? I want the fraction. I don't want it to be mixed numbers. I want, slope is rise over run. Slope is a fraction. That's what I want. Does that make sense? Hi. Is that on the thing?
Can we do one more?
Okay,
Or
well now
can
what
we
we're
do
gonna
it
do,
change it?
now we're gonna do it, we're gonna change it. Like I said it doesn't matter which way you make, which one you make. Have you written any of this down? Where's your slope formula? Oh, there. You got to have the m equals, right? M equals really important. You have to have the name. You have to write the whole thing, the slope formula. And then I want you to write these 2 points. Although I'm not going to erase them yet.
Why did you?
And then I want you to write this, okay, so that you have it. Because if you don't have this in your notes, you get lost sometimes.
Why did you divide by 2?
Because whenever there is a fraction as my final answer, I always like it in lowest terms,
okay.
right? So I noticed 2 goes into both of those, so I simplified that fraction. So now what we're going to do, now we're going to switch these, because Amaya had this question, does it matter which one we make x1 and y1 and which one we make x2 and y2? So we're going to switch it. So I'm going to make this x1 and y1, and I'm going to make this x2 and y2. Okay, so here, I'll do it over here. So we've got, I'll do it right here. What doesn't matter? I'll do it right here. M is equal to, let's rewrite my thing, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. By the way, the best way to memorize these formulas is just write it every time when you're solving these for a while. You know what I mean? Just write the formula and then put equals. Y2 is 6 minus y1. Y1 is negative 8. Okay?
Okay, no, y1. Oh, yes. Yes, that's true.
Y2 and
Wait.
y1.
Isn't that what we
Yes, over x2. x2 is negative 4
did? It totally does change.
minus, the formula has a minus, and then what are we doing? X1,
Yeah, it does.
x1 is 2.
Because now
Right.
it's addition.
So now, yeah, it looks really different. Let's just see though, it might be the same answer.
But it can't. It's impossible.
What is negative negative?
It's
Positive.
freaking impossible.
Yeah.
So
it's the
now,
same
what
thing.
is
No,
6
it
plus
can't
8?
be. That's
14.
14 is positive 14.
but it
Wait,
negative 14.
what is this?
Tyler,
Negative 4 minus 2 is negative 6.
Yeah.
Are you
Okay.
serious?
So look,
What it equals?
you have 1 negative in this fraction. You have 1 negative in this fraction. That means you can put the negative in front, right? And I can divide these two by 2 to simplify. That would give me negative 7 thirds.
Magic.
So that it didn't matter. Because if you do it one way and it's going to be negative, the numerator might be negative and the denominator is positive, right? But if you do the other way, it's going to be the reverse. The numerator will be positive, the denominator will be negative. You still, with 1 negative in a fraction, you have a negative fraction. Make sense? Okay, Bella.
So are we gonna do that other problem that you said, the way that you did
The
it?
simpler way?
Yeah.
Let's try. The bell is supposed to ring right now, but let's try.
That's
You guys
like
ready?
A stupid thing that
So
Matt
let's just-
does.
So, but do you guys all understand this? So if the bell rings before I finish, you can still do it this way, right? Yes?
That makes no,
Okay.
like, why
Then
would,
just, can you press?
how can it be the same?
Yeah. Because the negative can go anywhere in a fraction.
Well, yeah, but that's doesn't.
Oh shoot, didn't mean to erase that.
Algebra's stupid.
Okay, here we go. M equals, I think it's really cool that it doesn't matter, personally. You think it's stupid, but I think
I
it's not,
just don't
I think
see,
it's
like-
awesome because it means you don't have to
It's
memorize.
not stupid, but it's like it's kind of irrational. Like,
No, it isn't.
like
You just said a math term.
okay.
Oh my
but
god.
If you
All right.
think about it, like, how can so it can't be possibly
Oh my god.
no,
All right.
it can't be the same thing.
Did the
because
bell just ring?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna have time. So let's just practice it with the way I've taught it. Tomorrow I'll show you
it
the way I like it to be taught,
Friday.
okay? Oh yeah, Monday.
I'm gonna have a
All right.